So question 3, develop multiple linear regression model to predict quarterly sales using annual income and family size as independent variables. Include the regression output on this same sheet on cell C28. Okay, so to create, we need to identify which ones are our variables, are independent and are dependent. In this case, dependent is the variable that depends on others that it moves depending on others. Quarterly sales are dependent and annual income and family size are independent as it's stated here. Okay, so once we have recognized that, we can bring all that information that we need from our data. So we're gonna get quarterly sales and bring it to our table. And now we're gonna get annual income and family size. Okay, so we have that already. Now we're ready to create our data regression. Okay, so we go to data analysis, select regression. Okay. Now we have to start entering this information. So our input, which is our Y range means is our dependent. In our case, we already established that our dependent will be our quarterly sales. Okay, and our independent variables will be, as I stated, annual income and family. Okay, sorry, left. Where are we? So, moved. Oh. So we go to data analysis, regression. Okay, so our Y range will be our quarterly sales, and our X range will be our annual income and family size. Now we did include the labels, and it will be easier for us to read if we include them. Now, also in the problem, it says that the efficiency, that we want the output to appear in here. So we click here. And now it says that the question 2 says determine p-value coefficient and using a significance level of 10%. So the confidence level plus the significance will be 100. So if significance 10, confidence will be 90. Okay. It did not copy where it needed to. So we're gonna delete this. Cleared. It's okay. Again, so that analysis, regression, and the upper range should be in here. That's what happened. Okay. Now it's here. Okay, so now let's start answering the questions. The first question we get is enter the regression equation. So from math, we remember regression model is Y, which is our independent, equals to the independent plus a coefficient plus the intercept. In this case, we have 2 independents, so we're gonna add those 2. So then again, it will be our equals to quarterly sales equals to annual income times the coefficient, which in this case, we have our coefficient, we find the coefficient of the annual income here, coefficient, and annual income is this one, 0.6090, 0.6090, oh, yeah. We were typing it here, so 0.6090 plus our family size plus the coefficient, times the coefficient for family size, which is 155.64 minus, plus the intercept. In this case, the intercept is negative, so it will be minus 7.764. 55. So that will be like our equation. Now let's start. What is the value of intercept of this regression? So that is given into our regression model. So all we do is reference it. So we copy equals to, and that will be here in our coefficient intercept. What is the estimated regression coefficient of the annual income? So coefficient of the annual income will be this cell, which is the, we just copy it equals, and then we go down D here. Estimated coefficient for family size, so it's equal to, and will be this one. Now, what is a correlation between annual income and quarterly? Correlation means how does annual income affect quarterly sales results? So how are they dependent of each other? And how do we find this one? That one, we're going to use a function that Excel gives us. And it says to select the array. So it tells us to begin to do annual income and quarterly sales. So let's do quarterly sales. And annual income. So let's going to compare this two. And now, what is the correlation between family size and quarterly sales? So again, we use the same function correlation, and then we select our arrays, which will be the quarterly sales, and now the family size. And there we have the totals, so family size. Now, what proportion of variability in the quarter sales is explained by the regression model? This is obtained in our table, and that will be our R square, which will be here. So we just reference to that. Now, it asks us to what is the standard error of regression, and that is also here, found in our statistics table. So we're going to reference that as well, standard error here. Now, what is the predicted quarterly sales for customers that has an annual income of 64,000 and a family size of 5? Okay, so we're gonna go back and use our equation. So we're gonna find the quarterly sales. So that will be equals to the annual income, which is giving us 64,110 times the coefficient, which we have it here. It's better not to copy. And that will be the, hold on, what is the predicted quarter sales for customer annual income? And that will be this one, annual income. Okay, so let's separate this two. Plus, now the family size. The family size is 5 times the coefficient for that one here, plus our intercept, and our intercept is this one. Okay. And that's gonna give us our predicted quarterly sales. Now, what is the residual for the customer in the previous question if his quarterly sales were 11,165? So basically what they're asking is residual is what is the difference between what we predicted and what really happened. So this is simple, we just do equals the actual, which was 11,165 minus what we predicted, we have here 313.56. What he's telling us is that we were off by $313.56. In this case, our prediction was lower than the actual value, actual income. Now, determine the p-value and conclusion for the coefficients of annual income using the significance of 10. Since we already have that and plug that into our regression, we don't have to do it again. That's what it was so important to put it at the beginning. Now the p-value of the annual income, we'll find it here. So it's this one. So to the p-value here, 0.0000. And the conclusion for the family size. So this one will be the here. Family size, our p-value is this one. Okay, so now this is just numbers, but what exactly do they mean? So we need to define annual income has significant prediction or does not have prediction. Quarterly sales have any significance affecting, basically, is it affecting the quarterly sales or not? Now, if the p-value is bigger than 0.10, it says it's not helping. It's not helping this. It's not helping the quarterly sales. In this case, we have this number 0.00000, which is way under 10. So that means it is very significant. It is helping the quarterly sales. Now, for the family size, we said that if it was bigger than 0.10, it had no significance. It didn't help at all. So we said family size has no significance on the quarterly sales. Okay, and that concludes this question.